Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is December 8th, 2021 at 11:20 a.m. and these are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. It's pretty much the same thing as that. Um, we use allegedly, apply the but for and the reasonable person standard, but for Mr. Perry's tormenting, torture, starvation of women and children. We wouldn't be here, would we? Stalking, harassment, threats, intimidation, coercion, on and on and on. And we assert all constitutional rights. We shouldn't have to. We just have them. But because it's Perry, we got to say it. So basically, these guys are worried about who's telling on them. It's not just one guy stalking, it is a group of them. As I've said before, we have a witness that has told us, as long as I've known Charles Perry, he trolls women. He will travel and won't take his wife with him, Jackie, his wife. Um, so he's traveling a lot up by himself. Nobody knows exactly what he's up to. He's trolling women. He's putting hidden cameras in their home. He will pay off the landlord, the maintenance guy, or a locksmith to get in, put hidden cameras in their home, broadcast them live on the dark web, and sell watch time. He is a sexual sadist. He enjoys tormenting, torture, starvation of women and children. He gets off on causing problems. He gets off on causing drama. That's a sexual dysfunction, our shrink says. The witness said he will hack them and watch where they're working, get them fired. Then he'll try to make sure they can't find a new job because he's, sitting there watching them while they're applying for work. And then they lose their house. Then he has the ex take the kids away because now they're unfit. They can't take care of the kids. And he said, as long as I've known him, he's a sex weirdo. He likes to do that to people. And then he goes and the guy said, I'm quoting him, rubs one out. I guess this was somebody Mr. Perry approached for an investment. He's got a company that he has that does this broadcasting on the dark web. Josh Schulte is from Lubbock also. He got in some trouble for espionage, and they found child porn on his computer, and he said, that's not my stuff. I host for other people. So, you got to consider possibilities that Charles Perry's dark web website might have been one of those. Mr. Perry keeps asking who told on me because we had the McNamara email that happened long before my false arrest, where I'm telling everybody he's trying to arrange a false arrest. That's the first of. Mr. Perry doesn't know what he's gotten himself into, but he knows that since he targeted me, he keeps getting caught, and he'll get caught planning something illegal. And then there's a recording about it. Then there's an email about it or something. And we've kind of changed some things up a little bit. We're not always doing things exactly the way we have done. And he should know exactly what, how, who, what, when, where, and how that is. Because, unless he's hacking, unless he's a peeping Tom, he wouldn't know any of that, would he? Until he gets it or it's out in the public, whether or not I know beforehand this time, because this is something they do every day. But I'm gonna say, when you cause a problem for another person, people don't like it when you do that. They just don't like it. They don't like this Neil guy that's picking on this girl. I mean, look at this. Look at that guy. He looks pathetic. I mean, he just fucking looks pathetic. He's just chasing her. And she's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what you think. And he's, criticizing her clothes. And he's giving her a hard time about, how she's dressed. And nobody asked him. I mean, nobody flippin' asked this guy. So what difference does it, why is he butting in like that? She doesn't even want him in her life. She doesn't want him to talk to her. She's screaming at him, leave me alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this?
What part of leave me alone do you not get? I mean, how stupid are you that you don't understand what words mean? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't like you. I'm not attracted to you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. Leave me alone. So, what kind of mental slow can't understand what those words mean? We all got it in daycare. So, what is wrong with someone that continues to force themselves on a woman who doesn't like them? That is a stalking crime. It is a crime in all 50 states. Peeping is a crime in all 50 states. Voyeurism, hacking is a crime in all 50 states. Is it calling a bank or a school and saying, hold on to her money? Don't give her, I need a week. Mr. Robertson, that's a crime, sir. You're interfering with things that are none of your business and you shouldn't know anything about, and you're recorded. You guys are recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded. There's usually an email about the recording before you do it. So, even no matter what happens in civil court, and a lot of the civil court cases are intended to build a criminal case against you because you continue to buy a judge. You continue to go in and do something illegal. You know, we've had so many people comment. There's too many of these cases where there's no hearing at all when there should have been. And when there was a hearing, she's not there. There's not anything fair about any of this. There's nothing legal about any of it, which is fine. And that includes Mr. Neely's trial. That includes 2 motions to intervene for him. There should have been a pretrial hearing, at least to decide whether or not I had standing to argue that. And I shouldn't have had to do that. I was called as a witness. There should never have been a phone call to Mr. Mitchell or Mr. Myers asking them not to let me testify. Because had I testified, he'd be home right now, and everybody knows that. So what happens is when you hurt someone, people look at this Neil guy like he's what the hell's wrong with him? They don't like him, they like her. So it's not hard for us to get information. You guys all ask who told on us? Mr. Perry's constantly typing names in my phone. Is it this person? Is it that person? Is it this person? Is it that? Is it your family? Is it your children? Is it Z? Is it Al? Is it Kim? Is it Jim? Is it this guy or that guy? Is it your dad? And I've repeatedly answered that question. I've repeatedly answered that question. You have got to understand the words said to you, sir. You've got to start understanding words. Everyone else understands it. I don't understand why you're so slow. It fucking irritates the hell out of me. It fucking irritates the fuck out of me that you're very slow. I said, I'm not told that. I said, if you think it's my children, stop calling my children. You should have never called them to begin with. I said, if you think it's my family or Lynn and Kathy, my dad and, the people that raised me, I said, if that's who you think it is, what the fuck are you doing calling them? Leave them alone. Leave us all alone. Nobody invited you into my life in Oklahoma. I came here to get away from you. You are not invited here. You're not wanted here. I'm not in love with you. So why are you coming up and doing shit like this to me?
Are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't.
How many times did she have to repeat herself? Leave me alone. These are not hard words to understand at all. And if you have any dignity and class, you don't act like him. You move on and you find somebody that likes you. He did this to her for 4 years. Mr. Perry's done it to me for 10. And there's so many of my podcasts where I'm screaming the same thing. Leave me alone. Get out of my life. Leave me alone. Get the fuck out of my life. Leave me alone. Get the fuck out of my life. You're breaking the law. You're fucking breaking the law. Now, I know Mr. Perry has complained about, he's a victim. My vulgarity or whatever. He's a victim. When somebody says leave me alone, you are not a fucking victim. If you are physically assaulting me, I'm going to hit you to get you off of me. This is a verbal beat off, sir. You need to act like a grown-ass man. Stop whining. Stop complaining. You are not a victim. Just any more than Neil is. This Neil guy. Get the fuck off me. If I'm verbally abusive to you, you feel, that is to get you away from me, to get you off me. There's no other reason. And but for, standard applies, but for you're in my life, against my will, invading my privacy, violating the hell out of me, contacting me when I've asked you repeatedly to stop contacting me, I wouldn't have to verbally beat you off me, would I? You need to get a fucking grip on reality. Everybody's mad. They don't like you. They don't like you at all. You're hurting everybody. Nobody likes watching one person hurt another. It isn't that hard to figure out, sir. Leave me the fuck alone. The whole reason that got these guys on you is the torment. You're tormenting people and you get off on that. You're torturing women and children and you get off on that. You're starving women and children. Calling my school, don't give her funding. We need a week. Duly noted for the record, Mr. Robertson, that you made that phone call. Duly noted for the record, you made that phone call. As it turns out, there was a weird little glitch. So you, by doing what we knew you were going to do, or whatever the recording says, guess what? You just proved out that recording. Same thing with the ringtone. Oh my God, we had so many fucking recordings of that ringtone. We got to get her ringtone. We got to get her ringtone. We got to get her ringtone. And then 9 pages of fucking phone calls with them trying to get my ringtone. Not 9 calls, 9 pages. 9 pages that Philip Wishcamper has and Mallory Miller have. 9 pages of phone calls. You're trying to get my ringtone. So now I can go, well, I did tell you so. Where the hell, I mean, wow. And you guys want to know who told. You're not entitled to know who told. I'm not even told that. And I've said that over and over and over and over. And I'm so tired of repeating the same thing. Everybody's sick and tired of y'all. When you pester me, you get told on. When you pester me, you get told on. When you pester... And we're like, okay, well, what's the goal here? Is the goal to get a date? Because I'm not going to date somebody that peeps. I don't like peeping toms. No woman does. Go into a bar and try to pick up a woman by telling her you got a peeping tom problem. You go to Vegas, you find yourself a hooker, an escort or something who's a little kinky, and you deal with it that way. You don't go after innocent people who want nothing to do with you. Nothing. You don't matter, Mr. Perry. I matter. I think 5 years ago I said, you're not getting away with it this time. You've been at this crime all your life. I happen to have enough information that I can confidently say, allegedly, you're a serial killer. You're not just a serial sadist, voyeur, stalker, creepy guy. You're a fucking serial killer, sir. So when they're calling around, I guess, somebody tells them, I can imagine you got people leaking because he's awful. He's this guy.
I want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minminutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
Mr. Perry, don't again say that I'm a prostitute. You better have proof. You better have proof, sir. I'm not a prostitute, and I'm sick and tired of you saying slanderous comments. Mr. Perry, I'm tired of hearing from you. I don't want to hear it. He's typing in my computer. You're a prostitute. Sir, shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you. And get out of my life. She didn't ask him what do you think of my clothes? Did she? Nope. You weren't asked, sir. You were not asked. You assert one more time that I'm a prostitute, that's another cause of action against you. You have taken pictures of me everywhere I go. If I was a prostitute, you'd have pictures of it. That is not my thing. Even when I'm dancing, I didn't do that shit. The worst I did is take my shoes off and dance with my socks on so I didn't poke holes in the furniture. I still have my feet covered. My socks were on. My shoes were off. My socks were on. You guys have called up here all the time and complained that I'm a criminal. So guess what? I have had so many cops all over me when I'm dancing. I've given, I don't know how many lap dances to police officers. And I ask them, is this illegal? Nope. You got your feet covered. You're fine. I danced for 6 years. If it was a problem in 6 years, one of them would have said something. I'd have got a ticket or something. You had them looking for a reason to do another false arrest, didn't you? Those two guys told me in August 2015, You need to watch everything you do. Mr. Perry is calling up here, talking to cops. Just find some way to arrest her. Just find something. We told him no. That's not why we signed up to be police. We're not going to act like that guy. We're not going to lower ourselves to such a low class, antisocial freak and act like that man. So we came in to warn you. He's just going to try to find some way to false arrest you. That was August 2015, Mr. Perry. You pissed them off when you did that. You made them mad. Mad enough they came and told me. You didn't make them like you. You didn't make them want to help you. You pissed them off. Because people don't, in general, like it when one person hurts another. They get pretty upset and outraged by that. Shut up, Harry. Nobody asked you what you think. You like tormenting and tormenting and tormenting. And so, the result of that, sir, is you're told on and told on and told on and told on. What in the fuck is your goal? You got $25 million that didn't cover up a damn thing. Your crime is more uncovered than ever. It's more uncovered, sir, than ever because you are pestering and pestering and bothering and bothering and causing one problem after another for me. And you're pissing everybody off, sir. So if your goal is to get caught, you're meeting the goal and then some. Can you not control yourself anymore? And you want police to do it for you? Is that what you're trying to do here? Because why would you do the same thing every day that gets you results you say you don't like? You don't like being told on? Or you do like being told on? Because when you mess with me, you get told on. Are you just not able to put that together in your head? Cause and effect. When you mess with me, you get told on. When you mess with me, you get told on. When you cause a problem for me, you get told on. When you mess with me, you get told on. When you pester me, you get told on. When you invade my privacy, you get told on. When you take my money, you get told on. And told on. And told on. And told on. And you're never going to get a date with me. You make my skin crawl. You're that guy. I didn't ask you what you thought, did I? What did I ask you to do, sir? Please understand words said to you. Leave me alone. Get out of my life. Do not hack. Do not peep. Do not call my family. Do not call anybody I know. Fuck off. Women are attracted to men who are very busy working because they have something interesting to discuss at the end of the day. It's hot to see men work. That's one thing I really liked about Fabian. He worked his ass off. That attracted me to him. Same thing with my ex-husband. Same thing with Saeed. Women like men that are working. And then at the end of the day have something interesting to discuss. I already know what I did all day, sir. You're a bizarre bore. You're very strange. You're very strange. And everybody's getting sick and tired of your harassment. And you're told on and told on and told on and told on. So I guess there was phone calls. Who are these guys helping her? How does she keep finding out what we're trying to do to her? What crime we're trying to commit next? That we've called the school and asked them, don't give her her money, we need a week. Or that we want to take her car. Every fucking day since 2015. You guys have been recorded talking about taking my car. Where does she keep her title? Where's the keys? If I knock on the door, will she give me the keys? I'm going to have the car towed and sold, even though it's not legal. When you procure, even if you have a court order, let's say you have a court order. When you procure a court order on fraud, when you procure a piece of property or money or anything at all, information, on a fraud, sir, now the crime isn't just one, it's two. So I don't know what all cops you bought. My guys are taking care of it. You want to know who told? You want to know who is helping me? You're asking me who's helping me, but you're acting like there's nobody there. We don't even know what to say to that. What words do we use to respond to that kind of thinking? You're not all there. Like your elevator doesn't go to the top, does it? Don't ask me who told. Who would they be telling, Mr. Perry? I haven't talked to my son Tristan in a while. I've talked to Dennis briefly. Not about you. Your name never came up. I haven't talked to my family in Manford for a while. Briefly, your name hasn't come up. We've not talked about you at all in years. Not for years. Not talked about you, not even a little. So when you want to know who told, why would you go to my family? Let's say you went to Craig. Let's, for example, this is just an example. This is not an assertion or an allegation. Let's say you went to my cousin Craig and you told him, I'm going to arrange a false arrest. I'm going to try to frame her for murder. And then I'm going to sit her down in a room and tell her she has to lie for me. And then I'll get her out of it. Otherwise, she's going to have to go to jail. She's going to sit in prison forever. And then I get wind of it. So I'm saying it now. Let's say that you did that. I'm gonna have her false arrested on harassment. I'm gonna arrest the shit out of her. Is that what you told everybody in jail? Is that how come everybody was telling me, Mr. Perry? We got the harassment email, right? Did we not get the harassment email, Mr. Perry? How did I get that? I mean, everybody in jail was telling me he's gonna send you home, harass the shit out of you, pester you, bother you, torment, torture, starve. And when you complain about it, he's going to say you're harassing him. When you give him a verbal beat off, he's going to say you're harassing him. He's the victim. So why would they tell me that, sir? Did you go in there and tell all of them that? Did you go call my cousin and say, I'm going to arrange a false arrest on a murder? My guys know I didn't kill anybody because they recorded you talking about how to frame me on a murder. You were recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded and told on and told on and told on and told on. And here we are 8 years later. I left. It's not been a day or a week. I left 8 years ago. 8 years ago. I lived in Lubbock 6. I've been gone longer than I lived there, sir. You are not invited to my life in Oklahoma at all. You need to get a grip on reality. You're something. So we got this harassment email. Gosh, see, there's a whole album on it, Mr. Perry. That's how well known that's how covered up your crime is. Whole album on just the harassment. Because there's a lot of threats you've made to me. So you go to my cousin Craig and you tell him I'm gonna arrange a false arrest and we're gonna sit her down in a room and subjugate her and tell her you have to lie or you're gonna sit here and rot. If you lie for us and you apologize for fighting me off you, being disgusted with me, not being in a romance with me, because I want that, and I'm an antisocial, sociopath, psychopathic criminal who needs to be in a prison or a hospital. You're going to lie for me or else. You know, that's called coercion, sir. Intimidation. You want to arrange a false arrest, intending to get me to change my court testimony. Duly noted for the record. We've noted it and noted it and noted it and noted it. That is your intention. You've told anybody who will listen that's what you want to do. We're establishing mens rea, your intent to commit a crime against me. Yep. So when I'm in jail, they're telling me he's going to harass the hell out of you. And then when you complain about it or verbally beat him off you, he's going to say you're harassing him. So did you tell everybody? I mean, you made him mad. You made those girls mad enough they came and told me. So was this Matt telling other attorneys, defense attorneys, and those attorneys told their clients and their clients warned me? Or did you have a big meeting like you do sometimes and start telling these girls, we need your help. We want you to tell us everything she says. We want you to harass her. We want you to try to make her look crazy. You know, from your gaslighting technique book that you use, that you have your little classes and, you have your little meetings and you tell everybody what they're supposed to say to me. We need to tell her to think this. We need to tell her to think that. We know all about those meetings too. Guess what? You can infiltrate pretty much anything you want to infiltrate. If you're good at it, can't you? You have no idea what you're fucking with. Not a clue. Not a clue. So, we've got that. They have tried to do that, by the way. They did it in civil court. In the first lawsuit that I filed, everybody was wanting to know. I filed the motion on Pinto's recording. Comes in and says, "Why don't you sleep with him for $5,000 and get rid of this lawsuit?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck no, fuck no." He's creepy. Okay, well let him creep you out for a few hours and just be $5,000 richer. Nope. It's not there's not enough money in the world to pay me for that. So, I mean, that's how much I can't stand Mr. Perry. not even, no, not enough money in the world. So when I filed that injunctive request, and now there's, I mean, do you guys not think that there's prosecutors all over the country looking at this? Maybe Charles committed a crime, or he's suspected of committing a crime. There might be a missing person or a dead body. Remember I said he is allegedly serial? And so you got a prosecutor looking at my case going, there should have been an immediate hearing and taking jurisdiction, because the requirements of an injunctive order is that there's an injury and it's likely to occur again. Well, it did occur, and then it occurred again. It did. That's what the whole Pinto recording was about. And yet we see nothing. So that's illegal right there. How much did those judges get paid for that? That's the question, Mr. Perry. Everyone's asking. You're not fooling anybody. We think it's hysterical. You think you are. So I'm telling his attorney, your client is threatening me and threatening me and threatening me. I've got thousands of emails about his very specific harms he's wanting to do. And he asked me to can I have them in a, very, lawyer language way. Give me the emails. I give him the emails thinking I have the reasonable expectation he'll restrain his client. When I email Mr. Warman 3,700 times, your client's trying to hurt me, restrain him. I have the reasonable expectation that he would. Right? Mr. Warman, I'm getting that information from somewhere. Don't ask me who told. And then when you do it, like the ringtone, like the McNamara email, like Mr. Neely was drugged and I knew it before anybody else said it. There was nothing public on that. Nothing. In January, when I first said Mike Neely was drugged, he didn't kill anybody. He was slept through the whole thing. That would be why there's not a mark on him. That's why he can't remember anything. And if I'd said that in court, he'd be home right now. When you'd conceal a material fact that's pertinent and could change the outcome, that's perjury, sir. And if you asked Mitchell and Myers not to let me testify, you suborned perjury. Which one of you made those phone calls? Which one of you made those phone calls? You think we don't already know the answer to that? Okay, so, see, we don't say everything publicly. We're going to wait till your trial. I'm not going to put everything out right now. So what he did is he took that email and went into a judge and said, my client's being harassed. Look at the email. Oh my God. But the email is the same thing as the McNamara email. He's threatening me with this specifically. He's threatening me with false arrest, Your Honor. And what did Judge Cummings do? Well, they were all hunting, said, oh, I'll just deny it. Never gave a reason on his order. If you look at Judge Cummings' orders, not one reason. No case law, nothing. That's, I think the Supreme Court said judgment shall be decided not on a whim, but upon sound judgment and case precedents. And yet order after order after order from Cummings is nothing. Just denied. Denied. You don't think that flagged off some prosecutors, Mr. Perry? I promise you, we will use that against you. So will every other prosecutor across this whole country where you did something and they want to take you to court. They're going to use it against you when you go into civil court and lie, and lie, and lie, and lie, and commit perjury or suborn it. It's going to stack up. There's a lot of ways to do that, and you know that. Your attorneys should know that, and they should actually be advising you to cut that out. If they were any good, they would. Don't bother her anymore. Whatever you're doing to her illegally, stop. If they were any good, that's what they would tell you. Quit breaking the law. I think you're in some trouble. Not pester her more. Piss everybody off more. And let's see how many more recordings they can get of us. And then let's do some of them and prove her out. There's no logic in that. Nobody understands what the fuck is wrong with people that do that. Wow, I mean, God. So, this is the McNamara email where I'm telling in 2015, he's trying to arrange a false arrest. Those two police officers that came and saw me in August, what happened after that? As I write the U.S. Attorney a letter about it, he's using cops to harass me. You know how I know? 2 cops told me. They were good guys. I don't know their names. They gave me names and I don't remember. And I'm not sure they even gave me their real names because everybody was a little bit kind of like, the fuck is this? I never asked them what jurisdiction they were from. I didn't even ask them. So In Oklahoma, you got cops have their own police departments in every little town. So like Manfred has its own, and it's 8 police officers. Like in New Mexico is a little different. So like you have Albuquerque, then you have Moriarty, then you have Edgewood, then you have Tijeras, you have Sandia Park, and all of those are right there, and they kind of make up the metropolitan area of Albuquerque. You got APD that has jurisdiction within the city limits of Albuquerque, and in those all little towns, Tijeras, Moriarty, Edgewood, all those little towns that surround Albuquerque, the jurisdiction is Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department. They don't have their each little own PD. They don't. So it's different in Oklahoma because in Oklahoma, each town has its own PD. So you've got the county sheriff's department, you got OSBI, you got state troopers, and you got each town has its own police department. So you got Pryor PD, you got Shoto PD, you got Muskogee PD, you've got Tahlequah PD, you've got Eufaula PD, you've got Inola PD, and some of those police departments they may have 5 police officers, they may have 1, they may have 3. They got so we've got police from all over the fucking place. And then where I was living was out in Sapulpa. So there's Sapulpa PD that was involved. There is Sand Springs PD that was involved. There is Manfred PD that was involved. And when I say involved, I mean involved in that they knew who I was because I've got this Texas state senator calling up everybody, whining he's a victim. So they all knew who I was. They all knew that there were these allegations floating around. They all knew what was going on. And some of them, the guys, these 2 cops that came in and talked to me, there's the receipt from the U.S. attorney when he received my letter. These guys tell me he's trying to find a way to arrest you. He's just trying to find something. He needs a smear campaign because he's a stalker. You went into court in May 2015 and tried to get a protective order against a stalker. In Oklahoma, you have to have a police report. I forgot it, so it got denied. I also had an attorney that did a really shitty job of explaining jurisdiction to me and letting me know what did I need to give her to establish jurisdiction. I went a lot into the history of here's what he did to me in Lubbock. So a lot of the information that was talked about in court was about what happened in Lubbock. So the judge is going, well, this looks like it all happened in Texas, not here. I don't have jurisdiction. But actually he did. But my attorney did not. She did a shitty job of all that. That was really her fault. But Judge Eyrick did say, it goes without saying, Mr. Perry, at your age, you ought to know this. Leave her alone. She says she doesn't want any contact with you. Leave her alone. So after that May 15, 2015 thing, they really have tried, even still today, to subjugate. Let's do a second false arrest. Let's do harassment. They've tried that. Let's frame her for a murder. They've tried that. They've been recorded talking about it since 2017. Philip Wishcamper has a bazillion emails about that too, Mr. Perry. It's duly noted for the record. My guys already know. They already know, sir. Trying to take my car. Trying to starve me, torment, torture. That's what got you in trouble to begin with, sir. Are you not all there? Why do you provoke? You're provoking people that are catching your crime for the first time in your life. You too, Mr. Robertson. You too, Mr. Powell. You too, Mr. Chadwick. You too, Mr. Burson. All of you. You're provoking the guys that are catching your crimes for the first time in your life. And you go at it day after day after day after day after day, and everybody's going, wow, it's so easy, it's not even fair. My guy says, all the time. This is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm going to tell you something. If I'm speeding down the freeway, if people around me are speeding and there's a cop up the road, everybody hits their brakes. Everybody hits their brakes even if they're not speeding. It's just like a reaction. Oh shit, a cop, and you hit the brakes. And then you look at the speedometer and go, am I speeding? So everybody's habit and natural reaction, Mr. Perry, is when there's a police officer, you stop what you're doing that might get you in some trouble. And you guys go at it harder. And then you whine and complain. Who told on us? Who told on us? And it doesn't even make sense. What is the objective? You're never going to get a date with me. You don't shit up my life and then think you're going to get a date with me. You have not a clue how to get women to like you. It's not by peeping. Women are turned off by that. It's not by hacking. Women are turned off by that. It's not by pestering and tormenting and pestering and tormenting and pestering and tormenting. Women are turned off by that too. It's not by killing a cop. My family was police. That's my family. Whether I know the people or not, that's my family. I went apeshit on you over that. I'm still not happy. I'm still very upset about it. I'm not going to get over that one. I'm not going to get over it. I'll never get over that. So, you're a turnoff. You're a big, fat, slob, pervert turnoff. And a disgust. You are the scum. You're a pimple on the ass of society. Rules and laws are made to protect us in a civilized society. And you violate me and you make me feel raped every fucking day. Every fucking day. There's never going to be a date. You fat, yeah, you're fat slob. I mean, golly, you're lazy. You're a fat slob, lazy. I don't even know what else to say. I am not interested in you. I'm not attracted to you. I think you're such a disgust. Such a disgust. You embarrass the hell out of me. I mean, who sits around like, you know, like I said, a fat slob, lazy, and bothers and bothers and bothers and bothers and bothers and bothers all day and thinks that's how you get women to like you? Who fucking does that? What kind of twisted, fucked up mind do you have that you would think that's how you get women to like you? And threaten with false arrest and murder. You've threatened murder. You've tried murder. I've heard the recordings of you talking about killing me more than once. Run her off the road. Send her down an embankment. Try to get her on the freeway, so we send her down an embankment. I've heard you talking about... I've heard those recordings, sir. It's disturbing to have to listen to stuff like that all the time. It's disturbing to have to listen to a group of people sit around and talk about how to kill you and make it look like they had nothing to do with it. It's disturbing. But how are we getting those recordings, sir? Who are you pissing off that can do something like that? So those two cops, anyways, they could have been from anywhere. I mean, they could have been from anywhere. But, you know, Mr. Perry did exactly. He obstructed justice in this case. I'm getting texts like this. I'm getting poisoning. I'm getting sick. I'm telling people, I'm sick. My son is watching me barf. Get dizzy. Nausea. Metal taste in my mouth. When I go to work. Who wants to go to work if they're getting threatened with death? Does that not make it hard to go to work? Wouldn't you have an aversion to work? Yep. Okay, so those guys, anyway, those two cops said, we're not going to help him, but that doesn't mean he won't find some bitch that will. Some skank cop that will. Some dirty cop that'll help. One of these guys will do it. So watch everything you do. But in 6 years, if I was a prostitute, Mr. Perry, you'd have a picture of it. Because you like going around having people take pictures of me. And one of those cops would have given me a ticket. One of those cops would have said something. Because I danced for 6 years. There's nothing. So don't go around saying I'm a prostitute. Fuck off with that. I'll sue you for slander. You're going to get sued until you leave me alone. I don't think you understand that. And if I have to wait till my guys arrest you, fine. We'll wait till they arrest you. The reason I had to file the 12-1031 is there's a statute of limitations on that. Otherwise, I would have waited till they arrest you and then file it. But as it turns out, I said it. Here's my strategy. The civil court case is what you do in there. We're going to use it in your criminal case. I've told you straight up, here's my strategy. Because when I set a goal, my guys, when we set a goal and we want an outcome, the outcome for us is stopping crime. Relieve suffering caused by crime. My granddad said that. As lawmen and women, he said lawmen, he didn't say women, but and women, we are called by God Almighty to relieve suffering caused by crime. Relieve suffering, not cause it. Relieve it. Stop it. Put a stop to it. Take someone's hurt away. Because when you're committing a crime, you're causing someone hurt. It costs a lot of money to the consumers and taxpayers too, by the way. You're blowing through money. It's not your money. And you're not getting a cover-up. And you're never going to get a date. So what is your goal, sir? You just want to sit around and piss me off? And that proves out our witness that you get off on hurting people? You got a sexual sadist problem? You're a sex weirdo. Is that right? Are you going to prove him out? It seems like you want to. It seems like you're very insistent on proving us out. Because you keep doing what we say you were recorded doing, talking about doing. You want to take my car. You wanted to arrange a false arrest, and boy, how do you did. So things escalate. I file a police report on the 21st because I have to. You knew that. You guys file a charge. It wasn't even a week. Mr. Powell, when was the investigation? You failed to preserve any evidence, video evidence of the night I'm talking about here. You failed to preserve my blood and hair. If I wasn't poisoned, we know you would have got the blood and hair, had a big old press conference and said, we had her tested, she was not poisoned. See, we're telling the truth and she's lying. But you didn't. You made sure there was no blood test. You had no intention to go into trial. That is as false arrest as it gets, sir. So you want to do it again because you fucked that all up. And it's dismissed in my favor. Mr. Powell, you dismissed it. Don't you go around again and say it wasn't really, it was a legitimate arrest. Bullshit. Don't slander me anymore. This is a cease and desist. Don't slander me again. Mr. Perry, do not tell one more person I'm a prostitute. I danced for 6 years in a strip club, as it turns out. Not one cop arrested me for prostitution. Not one cop gave me a ticket for dance without my shoes on. I had my socks on. And I had a lot of cops on me. You had a lot of cops on me. Guess what? A lot of us had a lot of fun, didn't we? A lot of those guys are good guys. I had a lot of fun with them. But if there was something I was doing illegal like that, believe me, in 6 years there'd be something. There'd been something. So now all of a sudden you need your lie. I don't know. I mean, you want to take my car. It recorded and recorded and recorded. My guy tells me since this, it's not legal, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. She just won't have a car. And then she'll spend all her time trying to figure out how to get her car. She'll never realize it wasn't even legal. When you procure property on a fraud, sir, now you got 2 crimes, not 1. So if I find out you're trying to take my car, you're talking about where's our title, you think she'll just give the keys to us? Wow, you're off your nut. That's 2 crimes, sir, not 1. First, you committed fraud in court. Second, you took property based on a fraud. You procure property by fraud. So even if you have a court order, again, I wasn't in the hearing. It's not legal. There's no evidence. You're concealing material facts from the deciding body, and it is your habit to do so. Every time there's a hearing and I'm not there, that's what you're doing. U.S. versus Strom, U.S. versus Vreeland. And my guys got even more. Yeah, okay. You know, you thugs are caught this time. When you fuck with me, that's what happens. When you fuck with me, that's what happens. So I get the call. I'm arrested on the 29th and prevented by physical force and delayed from getting a blood test to see if I'm poisoned, what I'm poisoned with, how much I was given, who was giving it to me. And all of that needed to be determined. Who, what, when, how, where. That's called police investigations. Rule out or confirm what she said in her... Rule out or confirm what she's alleging. You didn't give time for that. She's calling me on the 15th. I need your evidence. Which, like I said, Mr. Powell failed to preserve any of it. Meaning he had no intention to go into trial. And that doesn't get any more false arrest than that. And I was telling people, here, he's trying to arrange a false arrest. I'm telling the U.S. attorney, he's trying to arrange a false arrest. He's using police. Here. So that gives me the I told you so factor. The more you fuck with me, the more you get caught. The more you fuck with me, the more you get caught. The more you fuck with me, the more you get caught. We can't say she's crazy. We know she kept talking about they want her ringtone, and now she's got 9 pages of phone calls. You trying to get a ringtone within a few days. You did exactly what she said. How does that make her crazy? Slander, 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 slander. Smear campaign, smear campaign, smear campaign, smear campaign. So what should have happened is long ago, when I left, Mr. Perry should have let go and move on. If he was worried about some kind of stalking thing coming up in a campaign, all he had to do was call me and say, listen, I'm sorry for the indiscretions. I don't want this to come up in a campaign in the future. Is there a way you would be willing to help me out with that? Can you sign an NDA or something? And I would have. If it meant him leaving me alone, I would have done it in a heartbeat. I think I did offer that to Ben Campbell. I think there was a time when I actually got, when I was in Dallas and Charles starts butting into the Fabian thing. I think I emailed Mr. Campbell and I said, I'll sign an NDA if he will fuck off. I don't want a scandal. I want to be left alone. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that to Mr. Quinn Sullivan? And it was about the Fabian thing? I did. Oh my gosh, look at that. In 2014. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want this guy in my life. I'll sign an NDA if he will fuck off. There's not very many people that know about this. Like a handful in Lubbock know about this. I won't go to the media with it. There won't be a scandal. I don't want that. Actually, Fabian and I talked about that. I have a son. This could be a turn into a scandal. He's gonna have to live with that. Get, people talking to him about at school. I don't want that. I don't want that for my son to have to go through that. You made it a scandal. You made a spectacle of it. Not me. It's like you wanted that kind of attention. It's like you still want that kind of attention. Because you keep getting caught and you just go right back at it. And you provoke my guys and they get pissed off at you. Every time you contact me, every minute you peep, every minute you hack, every time you jam something up, every time you cause me financial loss, every time you try to get my car, they get pissed. And then they get to work. They work, Charles. While you sit around on your fat, lazy ass, they're working. And they're getting stuff and you don't know how. And they're getting it to me, what you just said. What you're trying to do to me next. Do not call my school again, Mr. Roberson. Don't call anybody about my money ever again. You're recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded. I don't even say all that we have. I don't even say all that we know. I don't. Sometimes we just sit back and watch y'all do what you do. Here's your shovel. Dig away. Perry, don't contact me. Don't. You piss me off. I said don't contact me. You got antisocial disorder. My rights and wishes are that you don't contact me again. Get out of my privacy. Get out of it. Fuck off. You need to be seen with your wife every chance you can get. There's phone calls going out in Lubbock, just so you know. When's the last time you saw Charles Perry in Lubbock? Been a while. When's the last time you saw him with his wife? Even longer. Why? What's going on? What's he up to? Causing problems in Oklahoma? Trying to live a secret, have a secret second family in Oklahoma. Only Cynthia won't have a thing to do with him. I left. It's been 8 years. Move on. Everybody gets rejected. That's not a crime to reject somebody you don't like. The crime is stalking. Not moving on. Sitting around on your fat, lazy ass, being a pervert. That's the crime. It's a serious crime, isn't it? I don't have any words for this. It's crap that you do. So, my guys are getting me stuff like this. People with that kind of power. I got that in jail. Fabian and Hope intersect. What are the chances, Mr. Perry? I mean, I'm in jail and this didn't come to me at some random time in my life. It's not some random guy's name on that. It's Fabian's name, and it came then. So, when you can figure out what kind of people have that kind of power, God, you're something. Not very smart. Not smart. So, don't ask who told. Just know that I have protection you can't get to. And your calls making, is it you? Is it her? Are you helping her? Do you know her? It's piqued a lot of interest. You've almost made me a legend. Thank you for that. My granddad would love that. But you were told, I can imagine you've got some leaks. People don't like somebody who's cruel, abusive to women. Weirdo. Do you know how many guys you guys hired came into my work and said, Charles and Dave wanted me to say blah, blah, blah to you, and I won't do it. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not doing that. These people are weird. They're weirdos. I don't want to be any part of that. Yep. Yep. You don't think there's a lot of people that feel that way? I'm not weird. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. That's bizarre. I'm not going to be a part of that strange, weird group of these people. Yuck. So, You're hiring people that aren't comfortable with what you're asking them to do. They're very uncomfortable with it. You're gaslighting. You're straying Joe. They don't want any part of it. So they've told me, flat out, straight up. They would come to my work. They hired me. I'm supposed to come in here and say, blah, blah, blah to you. I don't want to. I really don't want to. I'm not weird. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not going to say it. Okay? So that's what the guy said to you, didn't he? They're not going to tell you anything. They don't like him. They like her. They have a lot of respect for what she's done for Mike Neely. And they have a lot of concern about the threat to law enforcement these guys pose. Because if you do it to one police officer, you'll do it to any police officer. Well, I don't want to. If I'm in Mike's shoes, I want somebody like her coming to help me. That's what the guys. That's basically. I mean, so nobody's going to tell you anything. You're a threat. Why would they tell you you're a threat? You're the unwanted troll. You're the Neil in this deal. I don't want to talk to you, Neil. God bless you, but leave me alone. She says it over and over and over and over. And what's his response? Bizarro. Why you dressed like a prostitute? Jesus. Neil, nobody asked you what you thought, did they? You were asked to leave her alone. Respond appropriately to the words said to you. Antisocial disorder is a mental illness. You're ignoring the rights and wishes of other people. You want to prove out the shrinks? Have at it. You want to prove out my cop guys that gave me this? Have at it. You want to prove out recordings of you? Have at it. We can say over and over and over, I told you so. 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 But I did tell everybody. All of this is crime. One crime after another, after another, after another, after another. I don't know. So, again, I'm asking you guys to stop. Cease and desist. Mr. Perry, you need to control yourself. I left. It's been 8 years. Move on. Please act like a grown-ass man. Quit acting like a fat slob pervert. Just bothering everybody all day. Why don't you go work? Why don't you go work and you might find women start liking you? You're definitely not a chick magnet with a peeping Tom problem. You disgust everybody. You turn everybody's stomach. And that's why you're getting told on and told on and told on and told on. Is that your goal? Because it looks like it is. There's never going to be a date and you don't have a cover-up. So what in the fuck is your goal? Our goal is catch the bad guy, and that bad guy is you. We're doing pretty fucking good at it. Better than anybody else you've ever known in your life. Here's your shovel. Dig away.